A fresh breeze, finely cut fake turf, and a smile that is the byproduct of a human emotion. This is the world of miniature golf, or putt-putt, if you will. It was a world that was completely redefined when it was introduced to Mickey Donahue. His trademark, the Hawaiian. Gold medals, 4.5. Shoe size, a solid 10. This is Mickey Donahue. With a legacy that only legends dream of having, Mickey carried to his grave knowing that he single-handedly changed the way we look at not only putt-putt, but golf as well. What has he accomplished within his 28-year career, you may ask? Well, for starters, he has had 3 back-to-back championship wins 5 times, or 15 champion wins total. He was the creator and founder of the Universal Putt-Putt Masters. Not only a champion, but also an inventor, with inventions such as the miniature golf cart, the mini miniature golf cart, and even contact lenses. He has also influenced many celebrities after his death, such as Drake, Madonna, Henry Ford, Rich Homie Quan, and Sean Parker. What made Mickey such an inspiration to people outside of his field? Well, he not only cared for the hundreds who followed him, he cared for the billions who didn't.
Mickey Donahue. Mickey. He was the first player to reach the summit of putt-putt perfection.
I'm just so happy to be here to talk about Mickey. His love for the game could make even the most inhumane man weep. Especially me, Creed Mickey Donahue Wallaby.
Mickey didn't care when you treated him bad. He only cared when putt-putt treated him bad.
I can't understand Donahue's love of the game without understanding where it all began. Mickey's story begins like everyone else's, in the womb. This is where Mickey would spend the first 9 months of his life until he was released into the real world, which did not welcome him as the legend he grew to be.
Unfortunately, Mickey didn't have the greatest childhood.
I wouldn't say Mickey had the worst childhood, but it definitely was heartbreaking when hearing all that he had been through in the early stages of his life.
Heartbreaking indeed. Despite having terrible parents, Mickey's childhood went spiraling downhill right after his 2nd birthday. His biological parents, who are still unknown, left him abandoned without food and water in a storage unit in the small town of Pigeon Falls, Wisconsin. He was believed to be in this unit for 1 to 2 weeks before the unit was opened and bought by a well-known storage unit hunter. For security purposes, he wishes his name not to be mentioned on this show. His name was Albert Sullivan, and when he discovered Mickey, he decided to immediately sell him to a popular orphanage in Riverdale, Missouri. This is where Mickey was bought for $7.60.
Mickey, he was such a quiet, withdrawn little boy when he was here in the orphanage. Never spoke a word. We never taught him how to read. He didn't ask. All we had to do was feed him and wait for some parents to show up someday. That's all. But I never dreamed in all these years that he'd become the superstar that he grew up to be.
While in the orphanage, Mickey showed no signs of early putt-putt genius. He would not discover his niche until he was adopted by Missouri couple Ned and Julia McCormick.
When my parents acquired Mickey, I was an only and lonely child. They left on my birthday. They said they were going to give me something very big and very special. When they came home, they had Mickey.
Mickey now had a family to care for him. It was this newfound family that would help support Mickey after he came across the splendid game of putt-putt. But how actually did Mickey come across discovering putt-putt?
It was the old Nike factory. Got bought out by the big-name industrial mini golf owner, Sonni Gotti. He was infamous for buying out small businesses and turning them into mini golf parks for families.
If Mickey didn't find putt-putt, I wouldn't have found a reason to live. And ain't that the truth as told by Creed Mickey Donahue Wallaby?
I remember that was back when putt-putt was referred to as mini golf.
Those were the days.
I remember when the word spread that the mini golf course was going to open up right down the street from us. My mom and dad promised Mickey and I that on opening day we would be able to go. And when opening day rolled around, they kept their promise.
It is still believed to this day, once Mickey stepped foot onto Sonny Gotti's mini golf adventureland, LeBron James's mother went into labor. For Mickey's first time playing, his skills as a beginner impressed and even embarrassed some of the big names in putt-putt that were there playing at the time.
People like Roger Cleaver, Dewey Johnson, Jeffrey Right-Eye Jefferson, just to name a few. People knew this guy, this youngster, was gonna cause a ruckus amongst the putt-putt community forever.
I was just an amateur player when I met Mickey. It was his second time playing at Sonny's golf course, my first. I had to remember to breathe. It was just so intimidating being in his presence. Even though I was twice his age, it was very stimulating to watch. I couldn't take my eyes off him. Every time that stroke, it always hit the ball, it'd find the hole. Always.
It was no doubt the little orphan boy from Pigeon Falls was stirring up a buzz. It seemed there was no way around it. He was destined for greatness. But he lacked one thing all greats had when achieving dominance in a sport: a coach, a leader. Someone who would guide Mickey up the ladder of success and keep him from falling down a hole. A metaphoric hole, not a real one.
I was in Houston, New Jersey for the annual International Putt-Putt Convention. I got a call from Mike, my scouter.
We were lucky enough to find Mike in his hometown of Madagascar, and we flew him in for a once-in-a-lifetime interview.
I had to tell Mr. Kinley about Mickey Donahue.
Now what got my insides going is when Mike told me this kid hit a hole-in-one on hole 16 in the Biscayne Ribbons Open. Now, that's when I knew this call would get me out of O'Doul's Pizzeria for good. That son of a...
Can we just take a minute and talk about that hole-in-one? I mean, golly. Right? Alright. Wow. I fall asleep at night fantasizing about making a ball and hole like he does.
He hits the ball. It bounces off the windmill, into the loop-de-loop. He hits a tree branch, falls into the river on hole 16, bounces back out of the water and onto a bystander's shoe. To Lover's Cave on hole 7, then sinks back onto the course and bounces 3 times. Lands into the hole perfectly. Let's just say his execution was nothing short of phenomenal.
Right after I got off the phone with Mike, I took the first flight to Missouri. Well, after I covered a shift at O'Doul's Pizzeria. That was when I met with Mickey.
I was very pleased that Todd Kinley was going to train Mickey. He was one of my favorite putters when I was growing up. He had a lot of tools in his toolbox. And he could teach Mickey to be the best putt putter in the world. Maybe the universe. And that ain't no lie. Because I'm great Mickey Donahue Wallaby.
Todd gave Mickey an opportunity that no putter could refuse.
I told Mickey straight up, look baby, you got talent. I can see it in your eyes. But you're lacking a few fundamentals. Help me help you make you unstoppable. And he looked at me and he said, you got a deal, Todd Kinley. I wish I could go back. I wish I could go back!
It was 3 weeks before the biggest game in putt-putt. This gave Todd plenty of time to coach Mickey. But Todd's teaching methodologies would strike Mickey as a bit odd. The club shoe. How to celebrate appropriately. how to hustle the holes. The thankful shepherd. The whizzle-wazzle. The importance of trust. How to win. Todd would mostly teach Mickey the history of putt-putt, how it dates back to the Aztecs. He would also show Mickey how important it is to learn the ways of astronomy to broaden his putting skills.
Shortly after Todd became Mickey's putting coach, Mickey came to me and was saddened that he wasn't improving on his putting game. I told him the one thing that helps me understand things more clearly is when I would meditate. So naturally, I told him to meditate and see if he could find any deep reasons why he wasn't understanding the lessons.
And meditate he did. Meditating opened Mickey's third eye, a spot he had been blind to his whole life. It was then he would connect to putt-putt on a spiritual level. He began to understand the inner workings of the game. It was then he would realize that his coach, Todd Kinley, had no clue what he was talking about. Mickey knew that he was a great putter. He was the one. He fell down the rabbit hole of greatness without a mentor.
I guess my style of teaching was just too old-fashioned for Mickey. But he had guts for going out alone and leaving me. All I could do was wish him well. And let him know that I still would earn 30% of everything he ever earned, just because of that contract I made him sign. It's amazing what you can get just for asking for an autograph. Because of Mickey, I switched to part-time at O'Doul's.
With Mickey knowing he could make it on his own without a coach, Mickey went on to compete in his first televised game. It was the JFK Diversity Cup. This was where Mickey completely annihilated his competition, having back-to-back hole-in-ones on pars 5, 6, and 7, and 8. The way he outstroked his opponents made it very enjoyable for all to watch. After his amazing feats and victories in this game, everyone in the sport of putt-putt knew Mickey Donahue.
Mickey Donahue became a household name overnight.
Everywhere you go, you'd hear Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. It was a great time to be alive. It was especially great knowing that putt-putt had a new star that was extremely great and still very young.
After his win at Diversity, Mickey would continue to be flawless. For a year straight, Mickey had no losses. That's right, he was undefeated. A year straight of perfect strokes that pleased many. And the scary thing was, he was only gaining momentum.
One thing I admired about Mickey is that he never tried to win. He just always ended up winning. Even on his bad days, he dominated. His stroke was just perfect. The way his stroke would hit the balls. It's perfect.
I loved seeing how modest of a putter Mickey was. For him, it was about putting and putting well. He didn't get into the glamorous lifestyle all the other putters got into. It wasn't even about the money for him. He would spend a lot of his money burning for fire in the winter, and he even bought me this bad boy.
Mickey would live out of his car because a house was just another place between him and the putting green. He had so much determination for the game that he sacrificed living comfortably.
His determination for the sport was never unnoticed. Almost every time Mickey would putt, it was a 100% guarantee that Mickey would win against anyone he faced at any tournament. You were a complete nut if you were to bet against him. This began to scare the Major League Putt-Putt Association, or MLPPA.
The Major League Putt-Putt Association considered banning Mickey Donahue from all tournament and league games. They suspected people began to grow bored because they knew when Mickey Donahue walked up onto the green, he was going to win. I'll tell tell you folks right now. I tell you folks, Mickey Donahue, whoa, he was going to win 10 times out of 9 times. I'll tell you what.
This was until Mickey suffered from his first loss. It wasn't because he didn't putt like he usually does. It was because he had an opponent that outputted Mickey 2 out of 4 games. Someone potentially better than Mickey. It all happened when Mickey was qualifying for the Aspen Open. It was this putter that would come close to ending Mickey's career.
Donahue. Oh, Donahue. Let's talk about him. I couldn't even stand the guy. I mean, I was embarrassed to compete with him. Did you see the clothes that he used to wear? I mean, what's wrong with all the Hawaiian t-shirts that he had? Was it from the abandoned facility that he came out of? Anyways, let's talk about the real deal. Me, Victor Foley. Anyways, I was born in a small town in Kansas.
Victor the Victor Foley made his way onto the putt-putt radar with an attitude the game had never seen before. It was his vulgar use of vocabulary, slicked back hair, and a cigarette in his mouth that was never lit that gave him a rebel image. Mini golf's bad boy. Though his image may have been intimidating, or some thought to be a disgrace to the game, his image had no effect with the way he played. His left-handed stroke game would always put the ball dead in the hole, causing some to identify him with a short turn. Bad boy, great stroke. He was certainly a newcomer that was going to keep coming and cause mayhem to many opponents. But he was dead sure Mickey was the only opponent that he wanted to beat. And he wanted to beat him badly.
Yeah, I remember that day, the day that I thought putt-putt was my thing. I remember that I was watching Animal Planet, it was a Sunday special on elephants or something. And I thought to myself, yeah, I could do putt-putt. I went out there and I gave it a few strokes, you know. Hit a couple balls or 2. And that was the day I realized I could take a state. And I went out, and I went really far with it. I hooked up with Todd Kinley, whatever his name was. I hate that. Scoped his house out a couple times. That was another story.
I taught Victor long before Donahue. He took my teachings pretty well. He made them his own. He understood them. But I had to get away from him because he tried to kill me. He kept smoking around me and he was giving me the lung cancers and stuff. I can't work with someone that's a hazard to my health.
Yeah, I remember Todd. He sat there and he told me my stroke game was all wrong. He didn't know anything. He thought he knew everything. I remember the way he used to sit there and teach me how to move it. I was going to hit the ball a little bit better than him. That was the last time he ever talked to me that way. I remember that day when I hit his balls good and hard. Good and hard. That was the best stroke he probably ever seen. Better than Mickey Donahue ever could do. Better than Mickey Donahue could ever do.
I was very concerned for Mickey's health around Victor. I took it upon myself to be his guardian angel in the games that they play together. So what I would do is I would scout out as, well, a sniper. I got my rifle and I was watching the games at a distance. I wanted Mickey. He needed to feel safe.
Tension was high when Mickey and Victor squared off at Rockford, Rhode Island for the 2000 Grand Putt-Putt Masters Tournament. You could see it when they looked at each other in their eyes. This was where Mickey would find himself playing in the toughest game he had ever played in his life. And thank you for joining us at the Rockford, Rhode Island Putt-Putt Masters recap of what went down today. I'm Rory McLory.
And I'm Adam Taint.
Today, we are coming to you live from Benjamin's Bistro, giving you the day's events of Mickey Donahue, undefeated champion, versus Victor the Victor Foley, the bad boy.
And real quick, I just want to shout out to Benji's Bistros here in Rhode Island off the shoreline. Very delicious food, great wait staff. See Lindsay, she's my favorite.
Lindsay, you're a treasure.
Alright, let's get to the action here.
Wide stance, small stroke,
There
in the
in the
hole.
hole.
In the hole. But one thing's for sure, Mickey's coach hates Victor.
Yes, absolutely. They actually had a little running back then.
Oh,
but
look at that.
tension. Look at the tension between them.
But then look at the relaxing, the losing of
Lindsay.
tension.
Lindsay, yeah, just my side
Beautiful.
salad. Is it coming?
Oh, mine too, Lindsay.
Got 2 side salads. All right,
I have
thank you.
coleslaw.
All right, well,
Back at it. So,
and look, this is just this was the theme of tonight,
Hard
am
to
I right?
watch, hard
Just
to
the
watch.
devastation. Look at it take a toll on Mickey.
gone.
Absolutely dreadful. Absolutely terrible to watch. I actually had some tears out of my eyes with this game.
Really?
Yes, very sad, but I love to see that smile. Look at that smile from Mickey.
Mm.
And you saw that a lot, folks. That thumbs up from Mickey there. It was a good shot. Every good shot, you know, he gave him that great thumbs up.
Oh man.
But Victor
Signatures.
always responded.
Well, you have to in this game because it's a 2-player game.
Oh,
Ball to ball.
ball to ball. You like to see that nowadays.
I like
You
a good
to
pair
see-
of balls touching.
Yeah, in the hole. In the hole.
Excuse me.
Look at that. Look at Entourage cheer.
I had no onions.
Oh, look at the profanity over here.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that. Look at you. Oh, man.
Dreadful.
Terrible.
Oh,
Whoa.
beautiful.
Like a magician he is. Look
Beautiful.
at the Foley.
Ball leaves, ball enters the hole.
Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, for Mickey, disappointment.
Getting comfortable on the field. Look at that.
Oh, what disappointment from Donahue.
Look at the face. You know, this is when Mickey realized he had to step up his game.
It's true. Most
Yes.
things in mini golf are small. No large steps needed.
Yes.
But
Very true. Let's
he-
see what Victor has to bring here.
a lot of pepper.
Ooh.
A little bit less pepper, please.
All right.
All right.
What a shot there. Can Mickey respond?
Oh, beautiful.
He does. Look at this. Oh, let's pause here.
Oh,
Look at the smile, right? You know what the smile reminds me of, Rory?
what?
The cheddar soup. The cheddar soup
Oh, yeah.
here
Yeah.
at Benji's Bistro. Very good cheddar soup
Benjamin's Bistro.
here. Benji's. I like to go Benji's, but
Whatever.
nonetheless, go on. But that's the face.
You
Go
know,
on.
no, wait, let me. Just
Whoa,
these
okay.
2 balls right here.
Right. Boom, boom.
You know what that reminds me of? The
What's
great
that?
combos Benjamin's Bistro offers.
Right.
I can have clam chowder and
What?
a BLT
Oh, right.
for $7.99
And
Monday
look,
through Friday.
No ID needed. Just come on in. Just
Yeah.
come on in, pay.
It may
That's
look
all you
like
gotta
a-
do. All right. Nonetheless. All right. Part 10. Let's see what we got.
Oh man, dropping
Look
the
at
ball,
that.
but
He's
it's not bad here. Dropping the
Infamous. Infamous for balls all around Victor. Infamous, man.
ball. 1 stroke, a fake out, and another.
Oh.
The infamous 2-stroke bad
Very
stroke.
good. Very good shot there by Victor.
You know what they say about him?
Oh, what's that?
Bad boy.
Great stroke. I hear it all the time. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
I've actually, that was my nickname back in high school. Was that funny?
No,
Bad boy, great stroke. That's what they call me.
it's not funny.
All right. Nonetheless, let's look at the teamwork Mickey has here.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And look at that. That's legal here in putt putt.
Love the rules. Oh my god. What
Are you
happened?
kidding me? Are you kidding?
What
I can see that again and again.
Excuse me.
That was unbelievable. Gives Mickey a good chance to come back on this one.
It's a shame Victor has no fans here. But he don't give up. Ball's touch, ball in the hole. Tight grip, small stroke.
Beautiful.
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 Look at Mickey, just pitiful by this point. Oh, disrespect towards
He
the
hit
cameraman.
Mitchell.
Mitchell's down.
Oh, but that ball's in the hole.
Look at that. Oh, you don't like to see it. Like,
So grimy.
I started out hating the guy. Look, I got a root for him. Look at the package on that man. Oh man.
The pain in his eyes.
You could just tell. Look at the confidence. Cocky, jockey. Look at this man. Cocky mumbo. La 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 la.
The cocky, wobbly head swagger. And
All right, this
Mickey
is it.
misses his
This
final
was
shot.
for the game, by the way. This was the big deal.
One more. Victor gets it. He wins. Oh my
Can I have some more
god.
water, please?
Disappointment all around.
This is a first for Mickey Donahue here.
Oh.
Look at him. He just doesn't know how to respond.
All right, I got my bet back. I am $500 richer.
Oh, what? Checks.
Distress.
Checks when ready.
Separate. I'm not paying for him.
Wait, no. Together, please.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, wait.
Distress.
This was the response Mickey had to the tough loss. And you can just see the pain. You can see the nuance. Look at it.
Like a baby trying to talk for the first time, not knowing what words are.
First loss there. What a terrible... Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We're at Benji's. Benji's Bistro here.
Benjamin's?
Benji's. I like to call it Benji's. I don't know about you there. But okay, see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah, I beat I have stroked them 2 holes. God, that felt good.
Mickey took the loss a lot better than we all expected. It was a new feeling to him, losing. It was interesting to see how he'd react to the loss.
Mickey's first loss wasn't the only new thing Mickey was experiencing for the first time. For the first time in his career, Mickey began to have bad publicity. And it was just following his devastating loss to Victor Foley. News footage emerged that showed someone peeing in fountains.
When is he? Oh, go faster! Go faster! Go faster! Go faster! No!
Humping tree branches. And also pleasing himself in vacant parking lots. These disturbing antics were brought on by Mickey's doppelganger. It was this man who would betray Mickey Donahue. It was this man who had many people believing he was the putt-putt superstar. By acting in perverted ways that the real Donahue would never consider.
You want to know the real definition of a pervert? Look at Mickey Donahue's fake twin. The guy smashed my nuts. I'm not kidding.
I had nothing to do with Mickey's look-alike. Believe me, if I wanted to end Mickey, I would have done it at the Fremont Golf Course.
All the stress brought on from the negative media attention resulted in Mickey disappearing from the spotlight. He would retire his putter until people realized he was not the monster that his look-alike portrayed him as. He was also still devastated from his loss to Victor Foley. During his absence, Mickey would discover alcohol and its effects. He would have his very first drink. With that, he instantly became addicted and dependent on the substance.
Mickey became an addict. He would cash his checks and spend them all on huge jars of moonshine. He would just lay there staring at his putter until he passed out. And then he'd wake up and he'd do it all over again.
I received the call from the police while I was working late night at O'Douls. They told me Mickey had alcohol poisoning in every part of his body. He was in a coma. When I found out that news, my heart melted like cheese in a deep dish. I told them as soon as I could clock out from work, I'd be there. I'd be there.
When I heard the news, immediately I had to put myself in Mickey's shoes. If Mickey Donahue was in a coma, I was in a coma.
People began to wonder if he would ever wake from his coma. Until finally, hope.
Mickey had what we in the medical field call a bodyweight coma. It is when the patient remains unconscious mentally, but recovers 100% physically.
Mickey would just lie in bed as if he thought he was on the putting field, working on his stroke. He would finally wake up after someone in the room said putt-putt would never be the same without him. Mickey's coma state would last only a couple weeks.
When Mickey finally awoke from the coma, everyone was overly joyed. The first thing that he wanted to do was go to the nearest putt-putt facility. When we finally got there, Mickey broke down. That was when he made the promise to never drink again.
Every legend has their moment when they give up, but they also have those moments when they realize that they're better than that, and they bounce back. Waking up from his coma was a wake-up call for Mickey.
In the span of just 1 week, Mickey fully recovered from his coma and was returning to the game. His next match would be his biggest. Mickey was just in time for the Winter Olympics hosted in Sydney, Australia. It was this game that would proclaim to the world that Mickey was the greatest putt-putt player to ever grace this third dimension we call Earth.
When the other competitors heard Mickey was back and would be competing in the Olympics, they must have shit themselves in fear, while I did in excitement.
Mickey's performance in Sydney, Australia was flawless. I mean, he outperformed everyone in every putt game there was. He bet him in the 5-hole, in the 8-hole, in the 32 holes and back, and my personal favorite, the hole-in-one shootout. I mean, as a fan of putt-putt, you could not have dreamed of witnessing such a spectacular performance. I've gone back and watched the tapes many, many times.
Unfortunately, I didn't wake up from my coma in time to see Mickey's comeback. But when it's on the footage,
Mickey would earn himself 4.5 gold medals in Sydney. It was the greatest performance by an Olympic putter. It was after the Olympics when Mickey would have yet another winning streak. The streak would go on and on and on and on, attacking his opponents like a strong, majestic waterfall, or like a bull running through a china shop jam-packed with children. These are a couple metaphors that describe Mickey's winning integrity.
He just kept winning. I can't tell you how much money I won off those suckers who bet against him. Actually, I can. About $300.
After placing first in over 160 games after his comeback, the unexpected occurred, and a tragedy struck at a time no one expected it to. It all happened as follows. Directly after Mickey inspired the PGA Tour Committee to shorten their field lengths based solely on the attention putt-putt was receiving due to Donahue, he was invited to attend the new course ribbon opening. After it was open, Mickey decided to test out the course. On his 5th drive on the new course, Mickey was struck and impaled by 2 golf balls that came hurling out of the heavens above. But these balls seemed to come from hell. The impact of the balls immediately put Mickey into a traumatic stroke. It was the stroke that came from another professional putter that would cause a stroke to end the world's most legendary putter.
I was out running a charity organization that Mickey and I just got up and running. Then I heard my car phone ring in the distance. I immediately knew that something was wrong. It was that phone call that made my heart stop. I immediately left and tried to rush to Mickey, even though he was in critical condition. But I just knew that I'd be too late.
When I heard the news, I knew it wasn't an accident. The government was jealous and threatened of Mickey's attention. They were threatened by his power over the people. He was trying to revolutionize the whole sport, the whole way we thought about anything. He lived a free life, one freer than anyone's ever promised in America. And you know deep in your soul that all of you are jealous of the life he lived. I know I am. I know that I could have been somebody. I didn't have to be slaving away at O'Douls every night while my wife went and talked to O'Doul himself. What are you doing here? You see my wife? Have you seen my wife?
Sir. Todd, just sit down. Todd. Okay.
You white supremacists.
Todd!
Tearing down the nation. You're stuck in your own ideals. You can't find your way out of the dirt you're living in. Come on. Let's go putt.
Yeah, I'll never forget Mickey's last words that he said moments before he was struck. He said, "Let's put these balls where they belong. In the hole." I still live by those words today.
The loss of Mickey was a shock to the nation that no one could have anticipated. Flags were demanded to be lowered halfway the morning following Mickey's death. Businesses were to open 4 hours later. It was the day that'll go down in history as the morning of mourning.
Mickey.
You know, people sit there and think that I had something to do with Mickey's death. You know, I could just sit there and say, I was a little sad about it. But I had nothing to do with his death. I wasn't there that day. Guess I was a little sad about it.
Mickey's death disproved many people's theories that figured Mickey was immortal. But one thing is for certain, his legacy definitely will be. Monuments have been put up in cities all around the world, honoring the late legend. With over 50 diversity first place wins, 300 miscellaneous putt-putt open wins, and hundreds of first place trophies achieved, he may just be the first and the last putter to be placed in the Putt-Putt Hall of Fame located in Vermont, Germany.
I'm certain there will be no one ever again that will be able to play the way Mickey did. I mean, the man would jump off a bridge if Putt-Putt had told him to. He acted as if he owed the sport a huge favor. There will be no one ever like him again. I guarantee that. I guarantee that.
I always have this memory that comes for me at time to time. It was a few months after Mickey discovered the game of putt-putt. I was with him. He was going for the world record of the longest consecutive time playing a game of putt-putt. At this point, he was on his 4th day. He was totally delirious. He hit the ball into the windmill, and the windmill didn't spit it back out. He went up to the windmill, and the fan knocked him out, and he was slept for 2 days. It's memories like this that make me really miss Mickey Donahue. God, I miss you, Mickey Donahue.
Even though Mickey wouldn't talk to me or anybody about anything that didn't involve putt-putt, I loved him to death. I promised myself that I would only date a man that was as good as Mickey. Looks like I'm going to die alone.
Yeah. I'm gonna make Mickey. I'm gonna miss Mickey down here. I admit it.
Cut the camera. Cut the camera.
A boy who came into this earth abandoned and lonely came to be a man who left surrounded by love and hundreds of thousands of fans. This has been a truly unbelievable documentation about the true story of Mickey Donahue's life. I've been happy to share it with you. Signing off, this has been Ricky Hernandez. Thank you for listening. In honor of Mickey Donahue, putt on, world. Putt on.